There is a truth that stands unshaken, unmoved by time, circumstance, or the shifting tides of human perception. It does not waver under pressure, nor does it bend to the will of doubt. This truth is eternal, absolute, and unfailing. It is the word that spoke all things into existence, the power that set creation into motion, the force that governs life itself. It does not return empty. It accomplishes what it was sent to do. Yet so many live as though this word is fragile, as though it is subject to change, as though it might fail. But failure is impossible where divine truth has been spoken. There is a power beyond human comprehension, a force so absolute that it does not waver, does not shift, does not alter with time. It is the foundation upon which all reality stands. This power is not influenced by doubt, nor is it subject to the limitations of the natural world. It is the unshakable, unchanging word that was spoken before the foundation of the world, a word that cannot return void. It is not a fleeting promise, not an uncertain hope, but a divine decree that must be fulfilled. And yet so many live as though this word can fail, as though circumstances could override its power, as though time could erase what has already been established. The word is not bound by human perception. It does not depend on whether one believes it in a given moment, nor does it diminish when it is questioned. The truth remains, unaffected, unwavering, moving forward in perfect alignment with the will that spoke it. But to those who receive it with unwavering certainty, it is not merely a distant promise. It is a living reality. It is not something to be waited for. It is something to be realized now, in this moment. For what has been declared does not need to be proven by external signs. It exists in the unseen, waiting only for recognition to bring it into manifestation. One does not question whether the sun will rise, whether the seasons will change, whether the tide will return to the shore. These things occur with perfect precision because they are governed by law. So it is with the word. It is not a matter of possibility. It is law, a force set in motion that cannot be stopped. When it is spoken, it must accomplish what it was sent to do. Nothing can stand in its way, for no opposition exists that can challenge the will of the eternal. The only delay, the only resistance, comes from the one who has yet to believe fully, the one who still seeks proof before accepting what has already been decreed. Consider the nature of all things that exist. A tree does not struggle to become a tree. It simply follows the pattern encoded within it. A river does not force its way to the ocean. It moves naturally, effortlessly, following the course already set. So it is with a word. It is not something that must be forced, not something that must be earned, but something that simply is. When received without resistance, it moves with perfect ease, unfolding exactly as it was intended. But the mind, conditioned by the limitations of the world, seeks to measure, to analyze, to question. It looks to circumstances for validation, not realizing that circumstances are merely shadows of past beliefs. To look at what is and judge the word by it is to live in illusion, for what is seen is only the outpicturing of an old thought. The word does not conform to what is seen. It transforms what is seen. It reshapes reality, not through effort, but through certainty. The moment one stops doubting, the moment they cease questioning, the moment they accept fully that what has been spoken must be, the unseen begins to take shape. There is no need to struggle. There is no need to plead. The word is not moved by desperation, nor is it activated by fear. It responds only to belief, only to the one who knows beyond all doubt that what was spoken is already done. The mind that wavers, that goes back and forth between faith and fear, between trust and skepticism, slows the process. for it is divided. But the one who holds firm, the one who does not entertain contradiction, sees the fulfillment of the word effortlessly. To live in this certainty is to live in a state of absolute peace. There is no worry, no anxiety, no need to seek validation from the world. The proof is in the knowing, and once something is known, it must appear. There is no struggle to make it happen, no waiting in uncertainty. Only the quiet assurance that what has been spoken is. And the one who stands in this truth moves through life with an unshakable confidence, untouched by the fluctuations of the seen world, for they know that the word cannot fail. Doubt is an illusion. Fear is a deception. The only reality is that which has already been spoken, the unchanging, eternal word that must accomplish what it was sent to do. Those who grasp this truth do not wait for signs. They do not look to the world for confirmation. They simply are, already possessing, already receiving, already living in the fulfillment of what has been declared. And because they know it to be so, the world has no choice but to conform, to shape itself around their certainty, to reflect back the truth that has been established from the beginning. The question is not whether the word will come to pass. That is already settled. The only question is whether one will believe before they see, whether they will accept what is already theirs without needing evidence, whether they will stand unmoved in the face of delay, knowing that delay itself is an illusion. For when the mind no longer wavers, when it no longer questions, when it no longer seeks reassurance, it enters into the state of fulfillment, and what was once invisible becomes visible. And so the one who understands does not ask when, does not ask how. They do not hope, they do not wish. They know. They know that what was spoken cannot fail, that it is not dependent on the world but governs the world, that it is not influenced by time but exists beyond time. And because they know, they rest. They walk in the assurance of what already is, and in that state they witness the truth unfold before them, for they have aligned themselves with the only reality that ever was, is, and ever will be. There is a principle so absolute, so unchanging, that no force in existence can alter it. It is not subject to time, nor does it waver based on circumstances. This principle governs all things, seen and unseen, shaping the very foundation of reality itself. It is the word spoken before the foundation of the world, a decree set in motion that cannot be undone. The greatest misunderstanding comes from those who believe that what they see determines what is real. They wait for proof, for evidence in the physical world, not realizing that the unseen is the only truth, and the seen is merely a reflection of what has already been accepted in consciousness. Everything that appears in life is but the shadow of past beliefs. It is not the cause, but the effect. Those who look at their circumstances and judge by them are deceived, for they believe the shadow to be the source. The word does not depend on what is currently visible. It transcends it. It does not conform to the conditions of the world. It reshapes them. The moment one understands that their present reality is only a manifestation of what was once believed, they cease to be enslaved by it. They no longer plead, no longer beg, no longer seek external validation. Instead, they turn within, knowing that the cause of all things is the unseen, and that by aligning with the word, they have already secured the outcome. Faith is not a passive hope, nor is it a vague wish. It is certainty. It is the unwavering knowing that what has been spoken must come to pass. It does not look to the world for signs, nor does it depend on conditions being favorable. It simply accepts fully and completely that the promise has already been fulfilled. And because it is known, it must be seen. The world has no choice but to rearrange itself to reflect the inner conviction of the one who stands in this truth. It is not circumstances that delay the fulfillment of the word, it is doubt. When one wavers between belief and disbelief, between certainty and fear, they create resistance. They slow the process, not because the word has lost its power, but because their own divided mind delays its manifestation. To the one who is steadfast, who does not question, who does not seek reassurance, the unseen becomes seen with perfect ease. It is not effort that brings it forth, it is alignment. The one who rests in the knowing does not struggle, does not fight against appearances. They live as though it is already done, because they understand that in truth it is already done. The mind conditioned by the world will always seek external proof, always look to circumstances for validation. It will say, I will believe it when I see it. But this is an inversion of the law. What is seen is merely a reflection of past belief, and to change what is seen, one must first change what is accepted as true within. The one who understands does not wait for proof. They do not seek signs. They live in the fulfillment now, knowing that the word is not something to be tested. It is something to be trusted. To doubt the word is to deny reality itself. It is to look at the tide and believe it will not return, to watch the setting sun and believe it will not rise again. The word operates with the same certainty, the same precision, the same unshakable law. The only question is whether one will accept it fully, or whether they will allow fear and hesitation to interfere. Those who live in unwavering faith experience the effortless unfolding of what has already been decreed. They do not strain, they do not chase after outcomes, they do not look for confirmation. They simply know. And because they know, it must appear. There is no need to seek permission, no need to struggle for what has already been given. The word is not something that must be earned, it is something that must be received. The moment one stops questioning, the moment they cease doubting, the moment they accept completely that what was spoken must be, the unseen begins to take shape. It moves into form naturally, effortlessly, for there is no longer any resistance to its unfolding. To live in this truth is to live in complete peace. There is no anxiety, no fear, no desperation. The one who knows walks with quiet confidence, unmoved by the changing tides of the world. They do not ask when, do not ask how, for these questions belong to those who are still uncertain. They do not attempt to force, do not attempt to manipulate, for they understand that all things move in perfect order when aligned with the unchanging word. The world may appear to contradict this truth, but appearances are deceiving. The one who looks beyond them, who sees not with the eyes, but with the inner knowing, understands that what is seen now is irrelevant. It is not the final reality. It is merely the residue of old beliefs. And just as easily as one releases an old thought, so too can they release the old world and step into the new. Nothing can fail when it is spoken in alignment with the eternal word. No force exists that can overturn it. No opposition can stand against it. It does not ask for permission to come to pass. It simply is. And the one who stands in this knowing walks through life with an unshakable certainty, for they have stepped into the only truth that ever was, is, and ever will be. There is a principle that governs all things, one that is so absolute, so unshakable, that nothing can alter it. It does not bend to circumstances, nor is it influenced by the ever-changing tides of the world. It is the creative force that moves all things into being, the foundation upon which all manifestations rest. When one understands this principle, they no longer waver, no longer seek proof, no longer question whether what they desire will come to pass. They know beyond doubt that the word spoken must be fulfilled, for it cannot return void. The great misconception of the world is that it believes in chance, in uncertainty, in outcomes dictated by external conditions. It looks to the seen rather than the unseen, forgetting that what is visible is merely a shadow, a reflection of past beliefs. The world does not determine the word determines the world. The moment one grasps this, they step into a new realm of being, one where they are no longer at the mercy of circumstances, but stand as the cause behind all that unfolds. To know this truth is to understand that nothing is outside of the word. There is no power that can oppose it, no force that can delay it, except the one who doubts. The only obstruction is the divided mind, the one that believes and disbelieves at the same time. When one holds a vision yet allows fear to creep in, they send conflicting signals, slowing the process of manifestation. But when they stand firm, unshaken by appearances, when they refuse to let fear dictate their experience, they move in perfect harmony with the law. And in that state of certainty, what was once unseen must become seen, for it has no other choice. The greatest struggle in life is not with the world, nor with others, nor with circumstances. It is within. It is the battle between faith and doubt, between conviction and fear. To the one who understands, there is no battle at all, for they know that doubt is merely an illusion, a whisper of the old mind that seeks to hold them captive to the past. The moment they accept fully that the word spoken is already fulfilled, the moment they abandon the need to question or seek reassurance, the unseen begins to take form, not through effort, not through struggle, but through the natural outworking of the law. The mind conditioned by the world will always seek confirmation, always ask, how will this happen? When will I see it? But these are the questions of one who does not yet understand. They do not realize that the moment they have spoken, the moment they have accepted, it is already done. They need only persist in that state, unmoved by appearances, unwavering in their conviction. The one who remains faithful to their vision, does not chase after results, does not anxiously look for signs. They live in the certainty of fulfillment, knowing that the word cannot fail. It is not through effort that one brings about change, it is through acceptance. The harder one tries, the more they reveal their own disbelief. For effort implies struggle, and struggle implies doubt. The one who truly knows does not strain, does not force. They rest, not in passivity, but in the deep confidence that what has been spoken is already a reality. And because they rest in this knowing, they allow the natural flow of events to unfold in perfect order. The world may present contradictions, but contradictions are meaningless to the one who understands. What appears to be delay, what seems like an obstacle, is nothing more than the shifting of conditions to make way for the inevitable. The one who trusts does not see obstacles, they see movement. They do not react to circumstances, they remain steadfast. And because they remain steadfast, all things align in their favor, not by chance, but by law. When one fully grasps this, life ceases to be a struggle. They no longer live as a victim of circumstances, no longer wait for the world to change before they believe. They understand that the world does not dictate their experience, they dictate the world. They hold the power, not through force, not through effort, but through their ability to remain unwavering in their belief. There is no greater peace than the peace of knowing, no greater freedom than the freedom from doubt. The one who trusts fully, who aligns themselves with the unchanging word, walks through life with a quiet confidence, untouched by fear, unmoved by appearances. They do not beg for what is already theirs, do not hope for what has already been given. They simply accept, knowing that what they have accepted must be, for it cannot be otherwise. To live in this truth is to live in harmony with the unseen. It is to walk through the world not as one who seeks, but as one who knows. And the one who knows, they are never disappointed, for they understand that the word cannot fail. There exists a force so absolute, so unshakable, that nothing in existence can alter it. It is the creative principle that underlies all things, the cause behind every effect, the invisible reality shaping the visible world. The world calls it many names, but it matters not what one chooses to label it. What matters is that it is, and it manifests in due time. It is not a question of if, but when. The mind, conditioned by appearances, seeks confirmation before believing. It looks outward, waiting for evidence, hoping for signs. But the one who truly knows does not wait for the world to prove itself to them. They prove themselves to the world. They do not operate from doubt, nor do they waver in their conviction. They understand that every word spoken, every thought sustained, is an order given to the unseen. And the unseen is not deaf. It listens, it obeys, it shapes itself according to the mold provided by the mind. There is no force opposing this principle. There is no power working against it. The only obstacle is the divided mind, the one that believes and doubts in the same breath. This is why so many struggle, why they see delays, why they waver between faith and fear. But when one resolves this inner conflict, when they choose faith over fear, certainty over hesitation, they step into the realm of the unshakable. They do not merely believe, they know, and to know is to possess. Nothing in the external world holds dominion over the word. Circumstances, conditions, limitations, these are all effects, not causes. They have no life of their own, no power to dictate what must be. It is the unseen that governs the seen, the cause that determines the effect. One who understands this never pleads, never hopes, never begs. They assume, they accept, they live in the end. They do not concern themselves with how or when, for they know these things are already in motion, shaping themselves according to the word spoken. The world may present contradictions, but these are only illusions to the untrained mind. What seems like delay is not delay. It is the rearranging of conditions, the shifting of form to make way for fulfillment. The one who understands does not react to these illusions. They remain still, knowing that all things move toward completion. They do not waver, do not seek reassurance. Their conviction is their proof, their belief is their reality. And because they do not falter, because they hold firm to what is unseen, the unseen, it is not effort that brings about change, it is conviction. The one who struggles, who tries to force reality into shape, reveals their own disbelief. Effort is the language of doubt. The one who knows exerts no unnecessary energy, for they have no need. They rest in the certainty that the spoken word has already done its work. They move in the world with quiet confidence, untouched by fear, unmoved by appearances. They do not ask if what they desire will come to pass. They live as though it already has. This is the secret that so few grasp. The world is not happening to you. You are happening to the world. The conditions you see, the experiences you face, are not random, nor are they dictated by forces outside yourself. They are reflections, shadows, cast by the light of your inner state. The moment you change within, the world has no choice but to change in kind. It is not the world that must shift first, it is you. And once you shift, all things align accordingly. To trust fully is to release all resistance. The one who clings, who worries, who doubts, delays their own fulfillment. They stand at the door, knocking endlessly, not realizing that the door was never locked. The one who knows does not knock. They walk through, knowing it is already open. They do not wait for conditions to be right. They declare them right. And so they are. They do not question when, for they live in the now, in the reality of what is unseen but certain. The world may call this foolishness, may mock those who stand in faith without evidence. But the world does not understand, nor does it determine the outcome. The outcome is already set the moment one accepts it as real. And those who stand firm, who do not waver, who refuse to bow to appearances, find that the word spoken never returns void. It must accomplish its purpose, for it cannot do otherwise. There is no greater freedom than this knowledge, no greater power than this truth. To know that the unseen shapes the seen, to understand that nothing can oppose the spoken word, is to walk through life as a master, not a servant of circumstance. It is to move without fear, without hesitation, without doubt. The one who grasps this truth is never in need, never in lack, never at the mercy of the world. They speak, they accept, and they receive. For the word cannot fail. It is law, it is certain, it is already done. The word spoken in faith is never empty, never powerless. It carries within it the force of creation itself. What is declared in certainty must come to pass, for there is no force in existence that can oppose it. The one who understands this truth walks in confidence, unmoved by appearances, untouched by fear. They do not plead, they do not waver, they know. And because they know, they receive. Nothing can stand against the word once it is accepted as truth. Doubt may whisper, circumstances may deceive, but these are mere illusions to the mind that remains steadfast. The world conforms to the unseen reality held within, and what is spoken with unwavering conviction must be made manifest. The promise is sure, the outcome inevitable. The word cannot fail, it is already done.